Do you have low self-esteem? How does that differ from, say, the imposter syndrome? These are just some of the things that we're going to talk about in this new Trying Hard podcast episode. Hi there and welcome to the Trying Hard with Laika podcast. And this episode is something I'm making dahil may nag-request. So one of you tryhards asked that I discuss self-esteem in one of my episodes. And it took me quite some time to figure out how I'm going to go about doing this. But finally, I think I have a plan of attack pagdating dito. Now, it's not an easy conversation because having low self-esteem is something I've gone through, I've witnessed then in my life, and seeing it in other people, from someone very young up to someone who is, sabihin natin, at the latter part of their life and slowly realizing that they've lost a lot of opportunities to challenge this. And yung panghihinayang na yun, it's very, very real to me. So we're going to talk about what it means. We're going to talk about some ways to maybe change the way that we perceive ourselves. But just as a quick definition, ang self-esteem is basically our way of seeing ourselves, valuing ourselves. So people with low self-esteem have very low or poor sense ng self-value. They don't think that they are important. They don't necessarily think that they are capable. Maliit yung tingin, yung sinasabi sa Filipino, no? Or mababa ang tingin sa sarili. And in a way, kasama na dyan yung innate or yung ating talagang kahalagahan sa mundo. Yung confidence, no? Kung sila ay dungong-dungo, no? Yun yung term ng lola ko eh. Dungong-dungo naman. Ibig sabihin, hindi nagsasalita, hindi nag-speak out, hindi nag-challenge ng other people. They will also tend not to set boundaries for themselves. They don't share their feelings. They feel like wala silang kakayahan, wala silang kayang gawin. And they also feel like they can't say no. Now, I just really want to emphasize this part, no? And sinabi ko na rin sa intro kanina, that ang low self-esteem and imposter syndrome, kailangan nating i-differentiate yan. Though the feelings may be the same, yung feeling na, oh no, wala akong confidence, hindi ako dapat nandito, nandun siya for both. Pero the difference is that when we talk about having imposter syndrome, this person really has credibility. Meron talaga siyang kakayahan. Hindi accurate yung pagkakakilala niya sa sarili niya because meron na talaga siyang napatunayan, meron siyang estado, meron siyang pinag-aralan. Ibig sabihin, that person should be in that room. They just feel like they don't deserve to be. Pero someone with low self-esteem is someone who will feel that way. Sa lahat halos ng sitwasyon, hindi lang kapag binigyan sila ng mic, hindi lang kapag pinakyat sila sa stage, hindi lang kapag kasama nila yung mga doctors of this world. Hindi lang ganun. Ganun sila sa lahat ng pagkakataon. And ang malungkot na part doon is that if you have low self-esteem and as in nandun ka sa part na yung sobrang lala nito, that could keep you from garnering the education, from getting the experience, the skill set that would turn you into an expert. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya mag-evolve into imposter syndrome. Kasi nga, yung potential mo, hindi mo matap. Hindi mo mabuksan yung potential mo kasi ang baba na ng tingin mo sa sarili mo. Hindi ka pumapasok dun sa mga pagkakataon that you can improve yourself. So again, they may feel the same way, but they're not exactly the same thing. And the thing with low self-esteem is that if you have low self-esteem and again, you become an expert, you tend to be parang mas madalas or mas mabigat yung feeling ng imposter syndrome sa'yo. But if you also have low self-esteem, yun na mismo yung struggle mo in making yourself a better person. Kasi nga, sa simula pa lang ng self-improvement, kalaban mo na yung sarili mo kasi sasabihin agad sa sarili mo na, ay hindi mo kaya yan. Wala kang enough na kaalaman dyan, wala kang enough na capability dyan, wala kang bilib sa sarili mo. Now, this is a trap. And again, I'm not just saying that as someone who's, say, read a study or read this and studied this when I was in school or even right before I was preparing kasi for this podcast episode. But I'm saying that as someone who knows, again, people, and I have one particular person in mind right now na ano na siya eh, 60 plus na siya eh, going on 70 na siya eh. And yung negative self-talk, yung the way that this person would talk about herself and talk to herself, ganun pa rin. It's so sad. It's so sad because no matter how many times we would try to encourage this person and say na hindi yan totoo, you can try. And even if napatunayan niya rin sa maraming pagkakataon sa buhay niya na kaya niya, for some reason, babalik at babalik siya dun sa mababa niyang self-esteem, mababa niyang bilib sa sarili. So again, having low self-esteem and just really living and owning that as your identity can have dire consequences for your future. Now, I'm happy that the person who requested this episode really reached out. No? Even that move, yung parang, okay, let me try to contact Ate Laika and ask for this episode. That itself required a level of courage. And for that, I celebrate you. Kasi, again, if ibig sabihin nun, merong need merong desire to improve. At doon naman tayo lahat magsisimula. Now, there's a concept in psychology that I want to share, which is very important then when it comes to the conversation about self-esteem. No? And it's called the locus of control. So, ang locus of control basically assigns kung nasaan yung kakayahan to change things, to start things sa buhay. And may dalawang klase doon, no? Yung internal and external. Kung meron kang internal na locus of control, ang ibig sabihin nun, you believe that within yourself, you can do something to change things. Okay? Yun yung simplified version nun. Ibig sabihin, kung meron akong magagawa sa sitwasyon, meron ka sense ng faculty, ng power, ng kakayahan, to kahit try to do something. People who have an external locus of control, ito yung sinasabi na biktima ng buhay, no? Yung parang lahat ng nangyayari, lahat ng desisyon nanggagaling sa labas. Whether it's external forces, tadhana, whether it's someone else, no, a literal person na nagdidikta ng gagawin nila sa buhay. Basta basically, hindi sila ang in control doon sa nangyayari sa buhay nila. At wala silang kakayahan baguhin ito kasi nga yung kapangyarihan ay nasa labas. Now, there are benefits to having an internal locus of control. And honestly, yung mga, lagi ko sinasabi to sa mga bata, no, yung parang, when I was still teaching, yung mga bata kasi yung merong likas na matigas ang ulo. Di ba? May mga batang likas na meron silang self-confidence na i-challenge yung rules or magtanong ng questions kahit kanino, no, hindi sila nahihiya. May mga batang pinanganak na ganun. So, yung siguro mas madali sa kanila i-adapt yung internal locus of control kasi they already have that parang innate na sense of belief. But for kids who are not like that, they tend to turn to other people for cues on what to do. They ask for permission sa lahat ng gagawin nila. And whether you believe it or not, I tend to be on that side. So, I'm a known person na titingin, naglilingon-lingon kung okay lang, tama ba yung ginagawa ko? Am I supposed to be here? Am I in the right place? Do I belong here? Like all of those things. And a huge part of that din, I would say, would be the upbringing, no? So kung pinalaki tayo sa isang lugar na hindi tayo allowed to say things, hindi ka allowed to voice out your concerns, if you're told na, okay, bata ka lang, dyan ka lang, o kaya wala kang boses, you don't get to say anything. If you're told enough times to keep quiet, you eventually forget the ability to speak. So it's one of the storylines, Wicked, the musical, no, kaka-release lang ng movie version nito. Pero yung about the animals, kasi in the world of Oz, the animals can speak. But in the song ni Dr. Delamont, yung yung mga animals eventually, nung sinabihan sila or kinulong sila, sinabihan sila na hindi na sila pwedeng magsalita, hindi na sila pwedeng mag-speak, mag-preach, mag-teach, and things like that. They eventually lose the ability to speak. So it really is a lot like that for some of us na may similar experience. And ang tendency when you're told to shut up and stay sa isang lugar, yung way we talk to ourselves, we use the voice of the people who talk to us. So, ibig sabihin nun, children who grow up in a far from ideal na setup, sa simula, yung nagsasalita sa kanila ay ibang tao. Pero dahil yun yung language na nakalakahan nila, kahit nawala na yung mga tao na yun, kahit sila na lang mag-isa, ganun pa rin nila kausapin yung sarili nila. Tumahimik ka dyan, huwag ka magulo. Ayun na naman, may mali ka na naman ginawa. Like all of those things, no? Zandy and I were just talking about this a few weeks ago, na parang, tinanong niya ako parang, pagkausap mo ba yung sarili mo, naririnig mo? Kasi diba, meron ganun, may mga people who don't do that, may mga people na, as in, auditory yung boses, yung inner self-talk nila, kumbaga. Sabi ko, yes, I can hear myself. Pero, very distinct yung difference sa amin kasi siya, yung sarili niya, yung ibig sabihin yung, when she talks to herself, yung internal voice niya ba, yung inner voice niya, ay very positive. As in, kaya mo yan. Ganun yung mga conversation niya sa sarili niya. When ako, when left to my own devices, kapag kausap ko yung sarili ko, sometimes, minsan nga multiple selves pa yung parang, okay, this is this version of me, like, how do we sort things out? I don't think I've ever heard my inner self, kumbaga, talk to me in a positive way. It's always like, mo, yan na naman, paulit-ulit ka na naman ganyan, nagkamali ka na naman, you lost that na naman, ito na naman yung ginawa mo, nandito ka na naman. Parang lagi siyang gano'n. Lagi ko pinapakita yung sarili ko. Yung nga yung lagi ko sinasabi din before na parang, bakit gano'n? Hindi siya healthy. No? Yung, may mga tao na gaya ko na hindi na ako kailangang pagalitan kasi pinagalitan ko na yung sarili ko. Like, I'm already too hard on myself. So that's the reality of the situation. All of us tend to have our own parang inclinations dito. Ibig sabihin, nasaan ka ba ngayon? Or ano ba yung sitwasyon mo? Pero hindi ibig sabihin na ganun, tatanggapin ko na lang na habang buhay akong, alam mo yung mababa yung tingin sa sarili ko or habang buhay akong malupit sa sarili ko. And there are things that helped me challenge din yung mga paniniwala ko sa sarili ko. There are things that help me develop a more positive, kumbaga na boses sa sarili ko at paniniwala sa sarili ko. And those are things that we're going to talk about later. Okay? Pero mag-break muna tayo.
So, siya yung bumibili ng planner taon-taon kasi New Year, New You. Oo. Pero hindi niya naman sinusulatan. Pala yun. Kasi daw pangit yung sulat niya, sayang yung papel. Tapos minsan, January, okay pa. Sinusulatan niya, ginagamit niya. February, okay pa. Tapos susunod niyang bubuksan, September na. Ganun ka rin ba? Ako rin kasi, kaya nga gumawa ko ng sarili kong planner. Ito ang planner na para sa mga try-hard, kagaya ko. At dahil hindi nakakahiya maging trying hard, mas nakakahiya to not try at all, nilagay na natin sa cover mismo. This planner is undated, kaya pwede mo simulan gamitin kahit kailan. At kung makakalimutan gamitin pwede mong gamitin ulit. Walang masasayang na papel. But I should warn you, this planner is not for everyone. Parang yung podcast natin. Others may look at it and say it's too much or it's too messy. Pero I made these choices para hindi kayo mahiyang gamitin. This is the kind of planner you can use and abuse. Aside from the monthly spread, weekly spread, at yung task list, meron din siyang mga activity sheets that you can use sa inyong journey sa personal development. At kung ready ka na bumili para sa'yo o para panregalo, you can go to bit.ly/tryinghardplanner. And for the first 100 orders hanggang November 30, I will also include a dedication kung gusto nyo lang naman. You just let us know dun sa notes kung kaninong pangalan ang isusulat. Now, I always tell you to dream big, work hard, and start now. This planner right here is actually one of my big dreams, so thank you all for making it come true.
All right, welcome back to the podcast episode. We already talked about, say, yung basics ng having low self-esteem. We talked about yung imposter syndrome and yung the locus of control and possible reasons why you perceive yourself to be someone of low value. No? Kaya nga, mababang self-esteem kasi you don't think you're important or that what you say matters. But these are things that I try to, kumaga, think about. I try to sort out sa times na I feel the worst about myself. And ang funny kasi ang metaphor that I'm going to use is my toys. Now, for those of you who don't know me, if this is the first podcast episode na nakita ninyo or napakinggan or napanood ninyo, I love toys. So, kung makikita nyo naman around me, I collect toys. And ang toys kasi and collectibles, honestly, anything naman, whether that's art or kahit shoes or anything like that, meron siyang, di ba, literal na cost, as in cost of making it. Pero iba yung cost niya sa value. Napag-usapan na rin natin yan, I think, in another episode yon. Pero what makes one thing valuable is a combination of multiple things. So what I'm going to try to do dito sa second part ng episode is to try to challenge yung pananaw mo sa sarili mo, sa iyong worth, no? By talking about the things na nagpapamahal, kumbaga, sa isang laruan. Now, the first thing that would make a toy valuable is yung raw materials nito. Okay? Ibig sabihin, if a toy is expensive to make, may electronics, di ba? Meron siyang technology na kasama. All of these things, they could make it more valuable. Di ba? Now, sa atin, tayo mismo, yung raw materials natin, valuable na siya. And there's this analogy that people sa churches usually use na yung meron silang kinakalculate na value ng isang human body, no? So, magkano ba ang kidney, magkano ba ang brain, and stuff like that. I'm not going to do that. But, naalala ko lang kasi when I was a kid, laging sinasabi yun. No? So, each human body, yung raw materials pa lang, no, is worth so much. Like, okay na yun. Yun yung pinaka-base eh. Now, the second level, no, ng pagiging valuable ng isang toy is yung craftsmanship. Now, I'm going to show you some examples, no. This is one of my favorites. Nasa likod ko to, tinanggal ko lang just to show you. But this is one of my favorite, sabihin natin, toys here in my studio. And this is Haley, no? May H din siya sa kanyang, kung nakikita yung sa video, may H siya sa kanyang collar. Ayan. And it's valuable because it was handmade, no? Ito, by Playthread. This is a gift from someone. And I appreciate this so much because what they did was they sent a photo of Haley and then Playthread's artisans, they turned my dog into a stuffed toy version. And this is expensive, I'm pretty sure. Hindi ako nagbayad, of course, but this should be expensive because it was handmade. Ginawa talaga siya at kinostomize siya, no? Now, what I want to push dito sa conversation na to is that when you are handmade, no, kung may craftsmanship involved in making you, you have value. And I know a lot of you are like Bible believers, like you go to church and stuff like that. You probably are familiar with this verse. But if you're not, I'm hoping this gives you a bit of encouragement. But in Psalm 139:14, the psalmist says, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. So this is one of those verses na laging nakikita sa notebooks, sa bookmarks and stuff like that because it really is encouraging. And the idea is that we are all fearfully and wonderfully made. We are stitched together, designed, like crafted for a reason, for a purpose. And someone took the time to pick out how we would turn out to be. Now, of course, this is very encouraging, no, yung thought na yan. And even if you don't believe in the Bible, I've been reading this book, yung Sapiens. But the idea, even if, just, kailangan ko mag-pause dito a little bit kasi sometimes when Christians hear me talk about evolution, they hate me kasi, bakit mo pinag-uusapan yan? But this encouragement is for those who don't specifically believe in God. I don't want them to leave this conversation without feeling a little bit better about themselves as well. But even if you look at it na primarily on a parang evolutionary standpoint, kumbaga yung people evolved, diba, from primates and stuff like that. Even if you look at it through that lens, you still are fearfully and wonderfully made. Because ibig sabihin nun, you are a product of multiple generations of evolution, of selective mutation, kumbaga. And you carry in your DNA that gift, sabihin na natin, from all the generations that came before you. So imagine mo, even if you believe in evolution, you started out as a primate, no, an ape-like humanoid. And if pinipili lang ng, ibig sabihin, ang nagsusurvive lang ay yung, di ba, best of the best, sabihin na natin, or those who have the ability to adapt, ikaw ay survivor in your very core because you are here. Product ka ng evolutionary process na yan. At marami ang hindi nagsusurvive sa evolutionary process na yan. So even if you believe that way, you still are fearfully and wonderfully evolved. Kumbaga. Okay? Ayan. Now, the third point I want to make about toys and their value is that toys are valuable depende sa sentimental value niya. Okay? So kung nostalgic siya, kung meron siyang attached na memories. Sa case na to, I'll give you an example. No? But this is a brick-built na Luigi na toy. Now, I do collect Legos. I have a bunch of Legos behind me. But this is not that expensive. Like, let's just be very frank about it. This costs a fraction of what my Legos cost. But this is something I display behind me. But it's not because it's valuable dun sa materials or anything. This is valuable to me because of the sentimental value. Kasi this was given to me by two students na nag-attend ng college entrance test review that we held dito sa Metro Manila this year. And they may not know exactly how big of a deal that event was for me, but it's the first face-to-face na college entrance test review na nagawa namin after the pandemic. And it was very expensive. It was very expensive to rent the hotel ballroom, to feed them, kasi may lunch yung mga bata, to prepare their materials and buy all of their stuff. It was very expensive, especially for me and the business. Kasi galing yun sa Hope Fund namin ng Team Laika. Pinag-ipunan namin yun for ilang years para mabigyan sila ng ganong klaseng experience. So, this to me represents not just the, yung cute, tas na ang sweet nung mga bata na nagbigay sa akin ito. Hindi lang yun but this has value to me because it represents what we also built brick by brick sa Team Laika. What we're able to do now. Kasi dati pag nagtuturo ako, nasa basketball court kami, kung saang kwarto kami sa eskwelahan. Minsan yung mga bata nakaupo sa floor, ganun. Kung saan lang kami payagan na manghiram para makapagturo ako sa kanila ng libre. Pero ngayon, nasa hotel kami. So, again, sentimental value. Kahit mabibili mo to sa TikTok shop or somewhere else ng way cheaper, this particular one has value to me because it is attached with so many memories. Now, bakit to kailangan pag-usapan dito sa konteksto na to? Kasi ikaw din. You are also valuable to other people because you have so many memories attached to you. What you mean to other people may not be something you know, no? Pero sa kanila, malaking bagay yun. Ako, for example, I could have the worst day in my life. I could have the most discouraging na conversation with other people, for example, and I feel terrible about myself. But when I go out and, someone just randomly tells me na, "Oy, coach, pag-graduating na ako, nanood ako ng videos mo, kaya ako nakapasok sa college, or pumasa ako sa DOST scholarship, so now I get to study for free." Reminder siya to me na I may not see myself as valuable sa pagkakataon na yun, but to that person, I was a gift. So, kahit na feeling ko, alam mo yun, isa lang akong collection ng mga plastic pieces. But to that person, I'm more than that. Because tayong lahat meron ding sentimental value attached to us. So, for some people, it may be because you're their child, maybe because you're their friend. Ang sad reality lang is, again, losing people too early. May mga tao na hindi nila naiintindihan yun fully. Hindi nila nararamdaman na mamimiss sila habang buhay sila. So kapag nawala na sila at dun yung outpouring ng grief, ng love, the question becomes, alam ba nila to when they were alive? Like, alam ba nila, and would they have gone through the entire thing if they knew? So, hindi rin laging accurate yung pagkaka-perceive natin sa kahalagahan natin sa mundo. Kung feeling man natin hindi tayo mahalaga, hindi ibig sabihin nun ay hindi na tayo mahalaga sa mga taong pinahahalagahan tayo. Okay? And we've had conversations about that naman in other episodes. You can just look through the older ones. But again, your value may not be what you think it is, but it's what you mean to the people around you. And a lot of that may be sa people in the future. Now, there is a fourth reason why some collectibles are are very expensive. And it's because of rarity, or scarcity, nga yung sinasabi nila. Kung one of one yan, ibig sabihin, isa lang yan sa buong mundo, napakamahal niyan, sigurado yan. And I have a few collectibles here na 1 of 100 and stuff like that. Those tend to raise yung value nila over time or increase yung value nila over time. And ang ibig sabihin kasi noon is, kapag isa lang yan sa mundo at maraming may gusto niyan, magbibidding war yan, magpapataasan sila ng presyo just to get that thing. And I'll add this, kasi this is an example of another toy I have in my background. Okay? This is just McDonald's Happy Meal, I think, na Barbie collectible siya. But sa akin, rare siya. Sa akin, personally. I don't think I'd sell this even if people want to get it. Although, ano lang siya, di ba, ibig sabihin, Happy Meal toy nga lang siya. Pero sa akin, kasi what this means is a change in how things are currently. So this is a Barbie toy na naka-leather jacket, na naka-purple din siyang panloob. Tapos, kaya ganito yung position niya kasi drummer siya. And sa akin, as someone who, grew up and very few naman, hindi naman wala, pero very few yung mga drumming heroes ko na female na nakikita ko on stage. Natuwa ako na, alam mo yun, mainstream, like Barbie attached, perong babaeng drummer. So, yung rarity ng isang bagay, yung hindi ko siya laging nakikita. Hindi ko siya nakita growing up, pero nandito na siya. It adds value to it. So, bakit ko to sinasabi? Kasi the fact of the matter is, you, without doing anything, you are rare. Rare ka. Wala kang katulad. Even, sabihin natin, identical twins, and I know something about that. Even if identical twins share DNA, they really are very different people. And that's coming from someone who has an identical twin. And I can say for a fact that we are two vastly different people. So kung ako nga na may kapareho ako ng DNA, ibang-iba pa rin ako doon sa kapareho ko. Paano ka pa? Na kung single birth ka, wala ka talagang kapareho exactly ng DNA. Kahit may kapatid ka, kahit may, alam mo yon, hindi, kahit yung tatay mo o nanay mo mas kamukha mo, hindi ka katulad nila. You are rare. You are a one of one in this world. And that's what makes you valuable too. You being unique means you have a unique ability, a unique set of experiences that you can draw from when going through certain things or even when giving advice to other people. You have a unique set of abilities and unique din yung magagawa mong positive in the world. I just hope that you understand that before, things are, sabihin natin, a little bit too little too late, no? Or even if sana wag na umabot sa point na too late na talaga. So again, ang low self-esteem could be a condition right now. It's the position you're in. But that doesn't mean that cannot change. You can keep challenging that. And we're going to talk about more practical tips on how to do that in the next episode. So if you don't follow the podcast yet, go ahead and do that. And make sure that you maybe set an alarm Sunday nights para catch ninyo right after it's released yung mga episode na ito. So again, maraming salamat sa inyo for listening. And as we always say sa podcast na ito, dream big, work hard, start now, and don't let those who call you a try hard keep you from trying hard. Keep trying. I'll talk to you next time.